Okay, welcome to my 1000 kilometers an hour review of Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order. No spoilers, of course. I will refer to the game as Fallen Order from now on. There's a lot to talk about, so let's just get straight into it. What type of game is Fallen Order? In my opinion, Fallen Order is a grounded, story-driven, atmospheric adventure game. Although that is a main component, the game takes small chunks of mechanics from other games and other genres, such as fighting and punishment from Souls games. It takes open world exploration from open world adventure games. It has the Tomb Raider-esque puzzles. And of course, it is a Star Wars game, so there is a huge pool of lore and backstory to draw from. It all might sound like a lot, it might sound like a mess, but honestly, they've done a good job of integrating all of these different elements into the game, centered around the story. The gameplay is smooth, the mechanics are smooth, the fighting, the parry, block, memorization of attacks, the movement, exploration, skills, all that stuff. It's very recognizable. So what does Fallen Order do well? Well, to begin with, it is a great character journey. The focus is the character, the main character, and the side characters, of course. There aren't that many characters, so I said characters a lot here. But yeah, that is the main focus while you're doing all the other things, which I'll get into. It has, in my opinion, one of the best droids in Star Wars. I won't say anything else about it. It's implemented fighting and movement mechanics very well. It's very smooth and responsive for the most part. It has a great story. The story is predominantly the arc of the journey or the arc of the characters. There is a kind of background Star Wars story going on, but it is the driving force behind the story is the character's journey. And the atmosphere is also fantastic. They've done a great job of grounding the story, as I mentioned earlier, narrowing in the focus on what's happening right in front of you, as opposed to the chaos of the galaxy. The visuals, at least on PC, I can't really speak for console, but on a high-end PC, it's exceptional. The artwork in the horizon and in the tombs and the key locations that you go to are absolutely amazing. The use of filters and light particles over like glossy shine creates this perception of depth and distance that really make you look at the horizon and these tombs that you go into with awe, as they just look amazingly large. Several times I had to stop to just take in the visuals. Some of the horizon in the background is so beautiful, I wouldn't even mind having them as posters or like pictures, artwork in my apartment even. Soundtrack and sound effects, typical Star Wars, high-end, very recognizable, won't be disappointed. Fallen Order, in general, is a great entry point for people interested in adventuring, puzzle games, and Souls games, but don't want to go like really hardcore. Like some of these Souls games and some of the adventure games are really hardcore, very time-consuming, huge. Fallen Order is not that. So, a great entry point for new players to the genres. The game has replayability with New Game Plus as you beat the game, and it also has endless fighting loops, these type of challenges where you can just perfect your skills, and they are quite challenging actually. So what does Fallen Order do poorly? There are some minor hiccups in the character stories and the introductions of some characters in the journey here. It's not a big deal, but when the brunt of the story is so well written, these kind of hiccups make you take a step back and go, why didn't they just focus a little bit more attention here and fix this issue? So it's like a relative problem more than it's an actual problem. There is some targeting issues, mouse and keyboard. There were some points in the game where I really struggled with target swapping specifically. Again, this is not a Fallen Order specific problem. I've ran into this kind of problems before in other type of similar games, and it's been way worse. Like some games were borderline unplayable because of this issue. So the issues here, they do a good enough job of solving it, but it's not perfect by any means. In general, the opposite side to this being a great entry point is that people expecting a huge ocean of Star Wars, vastly challenging Souls games or like puzzle games that really challenge your brain, they will be disappointed because, as I said, it's an entry point game. It's a light version of Star Wars. It's a light version of puzzles and Souls games, which can be a turn off to some people. The game can also be a little bit short. Depending on how detailed you play or how much exploration you do, you might get through the game rather quickly. Also, the challenge level isn't that high. This kind of goes back to the Souls-light aspect. Veterans of Souls, or veterans of these type of games in general that ask for higher difficulty in games, are not going to find much of a challenge in this game. So it's more of a journey game than it is a mechanical challenge. It has some bugs and glitches. They won't break the game, but often enough you will run into moments where you go, what the actual hell is going on? Sometimes it's amusing, other times it's like a little bit annoying. Maybe a little bit too many bugs. It's not quite worth full price. It's almost there, but it requires some juice and some girthy content, in my opinion, to really be worth a full game price or near full game price. It's definitely worth a sale, but yeah, not anything higher than that. The content is a little bit light. Some final thoughts. Fallen Order isn't really about the grandeur of Star Wars, the punishment of Souls games, or the intricate details of solving puzzles. These elements are there for you to enjoy as you move along this journey, but the game is about Cal, the main character. For me, Fallen Order is a story about a young man that was preparing for a world that never happened, and instead is stuck in a world that has no place for him. He's very lonely, he has an emotional hole in himself, and as you play through the game, I urge you to consider these things when you're looking at his actions. The motivations of the character, the emotions, and asking yourself whether he really should or shouldn't be doing this. See it as a multi-layered character arc. Yes, on the surface, he is a hero. Yes, he is a Jedi. Yes, he wants to do good. But the question is, should he? Is his motivations pure or healthy? Is he doing it for the right reason? Is he developing and maturing? Or is he just overcommitting to this, the problem that you will face in order to drown his loneliness or fill out the hole in himself for his lack of purpose? Is our hero being a hero because he is the right person, or is he a hero because he wants to run away from his emotions? In many ways, the story is a sad and sympathetic one, in a good way though. But if you take a step back and break down the character, you get the sense that the writers have done a tremendously good job of balancing the dark emotions that he feels versus the heroic emotions that he feels while he's going onto his journey. And in the end, this duality, it all culminates in the final chapter of the story. So in general, a very beautiful story. Duality, a lot to break down. Very good balancing act of the story. Very good journey, barring some hiccups in the characters. Together with just decently implemented gameplay mechanics that you should be familiar with. Anyways, that's it for my review. I hope it was useful, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.